Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Guys, lots of green here today. FOMC data yesterday. We talked about how the markets typically respond, sell off in the first 30 days, higher over the next 12. Did a full breakdown this morning. We're going to unpack the FOMC impact, what it means for the markets, why I think Bitcoin's about to go stupid parabolic or potentially could. We'll talk about that. And then, looking at the chart here, guys, we've been giving out these levels all week long. Look at the price action here in the golden pocket. This is the other night where I said, hey, we might be punching through this thing. What we did, we came all the way down. Look, 4-hour quantum reactor, dynamic reactor, bounce back out of the platinum pocket into the golden pocket on the hourly, staying right there above that 0.66. We're going to break it all down. We're going to show you guys what you can expect on the markets going ahead and moving forward. And then, the so what to it all, guys. Let's go ahead and break it all down. Let's get it going. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats, get your notebooks out, smash the like, and I'll see you on the other side. Class is in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report, brought to you by Chart Prime Indicators, the best in the business. That's why we're here with them, trying to bring you guys the best information in the business. Welcome to the Morning Market Report here on the Piper Academy Network. Let's see. I don't have OC today. There's no OC today. It's just me, myself, and I, and of course, the alumni. You guys put the I in alumni. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to everybody here. Eric Ball and Waller. What's up, fellas? Retro Mike Tech. It's all a distraction from the inevitability of everything going to zero. You guys say I'm a perma bear. Retro Mike Tech, I think, is actually a bear wearing a human mask sitting behind a keyboard. What's up, Mike? How you doing, man? Alexander G, the mod queen in the house with us. JR Hart, Wix, Wi-Fi 89. That's Lady 2Dub in here with us. JR, one of our actually our most active community trader, dropping some great trades. And then, of course, I saw that BC Port Corp dropped an ETH long this morning in Good Morning Crypto right here on the Piper Academy Network. So if you guys watch that, you should be in that trade. And congrats to you guys. Dylan VA, Robert Mulligan, BC Port Corp in there again. Who else we got in here? We got Mike Play, Trade Intuition. He was first. He actually beat me in here to even put the post up, the pinned post. He's like, bingo, bango, I'm first. First on the line, first in the show. So shout out to T.I. Joe. Appreciate you being here, brother. And then CJ Taylor, I saw him there. Donato Cabrera, CJ Taylor, my brother, saying good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Clyde. Is that it? Did I get through everybody? Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of people in here, but that's okay. They're going to miss out on some great info today. So we'll see. We'll see if they show up. If not, their loss, the alumni's gain. Let's go break it all down, guys, and get right on into, Crypto Coin Mindset. Thank you for being here. Much love to the Crypto Coin Mindset team. That's Keith over there, breaking it down every morning. Well, not every morning, but he gives some good content, guys, some good content. Make sure you guys follow Crypto Coin Mindset. Let's go jump in on the news. I want to get in on that. I got to set this up. I don't have OC here to break it all down. But first, I want to jump over and talk about the Bitcoin chart. Let's go jump there. There we go. Looking at the Bitcoin chart today, guys, we can see here, this is looking at on the hourly. And here's where I said, look, I think that we might be about to punch right through this golden pocket. I put this on the Discord because we were seeing volume coming up as we were coming in. Volume coming up, money flow coming up, I should say. And then, we turned around and we ran into FOMC. I want to point out the dynamic reactor in the hourly here gave candle closes inside of that powerful moving average there. Thank you, Chart Prime. Appreciate you. And so I picked up yesterday this week's DCA, the dollar cost average plan, guys. I picked it up right there when we were hitting this. I said, you know what? This is good enough. We'll call it this. I was hoping to get 114.5, but this wick never quite made it. And when I saw that we were closing candles in the dynamic reactor and on the quantum reactor for a wick bounce, I was like, you know what? I better go ahead and grab it. And yep, I grabbed this week's DCA for Bitcoin and up she goes. Now I am thinking, because we're holding this 0.66 at 117.56 so well, guys, that this is actually going to come up, and I got to watch and make sure we don't get a swing fail pattern here. No SFP, but if we get that bounce off of that or get that breakthrough on that, and then a bounce on this level, anywhere in this level for a retest on a candle wick on the hourly, it will be going much higher. Looking at this on the 4 hour, how are we looking? Actually, let's go to the Bitcoin here. We'll look at the 4 hour here and just see how we're looking on the oscillators. What are they telling us? Of course, I do have a fib pulled here. This is coming from the low that we had. Well, I guess I got to put it on there, don't I? It's not even quite there. There we go. Lock your fibs now, Piper. Lock your fibs. There we go. Watching this low to high here, guys, you can see our pullback that we had here on the 30th of August was actually a bounce in the golden pocket, which is a very bullish thing to see. Now we're approaching the 236, 118, 324. I think if we get here on the 4 hour and get our bounce on this level, we're looking at going to a new all-time high. Bitcoin all-time high in progress right now, in my opinion. Of course, when we take a look over here at the 4 hour oscillators, we are getting a move up on the histogram. The signal line is breaking bullish here to the upside. We can see money flow is coming down and volume is coming down, but that might just be a chance for it to reset inside of this range. Let me grab a fixed range volume profile here, and we'll bring this in. You'll see once it loads, there we go, that we do have a value area high coming in at about 116,800 and then a point of control at about 116,000. And so I would think that if we hold at least that level of the 116 here to that value area high, anywhere in there would be your box for entry for another long. Watching this here, though, we are getting this deviation. You can see here we're setting up for another bearish divergence here right there. See, that's going higher and that's going lower. So keep that in mind. It's not a 100% across the board, all signals go, but we are seeing some strength here across some support levels that we're going to be watching closely. And really, my bullishness, my bias for bullishness, I should say, is really coming from what we're seeing on the FOMC data and historically how markets have performed with that. So let's go jump over into the news and we'll get going on that. Let's go news. Let's go news. There we go. Over to the news. Let's talk about everything on the dashboard. Let's get the metrics broken down. Let's see what matters. All right, there we go. A little refresh action. Looking here, guys, crypto market cap total right now sitting at $4.108 trillion. The trend line median on this sitting at $4.372 trillion. And then undervaluation currently negative 6.05. We're getting very close to coming back and touching that fair value price, that red line there on the chart. How are we looking on the risk bands here for Bitcoin? We're sitting at 0.555. That's a 55.5% risk band. And so overall, it's still a 2x DCA, which I did yesterday. Looking good there. Let's look at the Bitcoin dominance right now, sitting at 56.94%. Take away those stable coins. Get that out of the mix. 61.4, still holding above that 60% mark. How is the alt season index looking? We got to hold above 75. Remember, that's the key level. How's it looking? We're at 77. Get in there. 77.78% right now. So we are currently still sitting in alt season. We put this out to you guys also earlier this week. And then, here we are. And, also continuing to make some moves. So let's look at the liquidation for the past 24 hours. Let's give that a refresh. Had to set a lot of stuff up today, guys. So I apologize if it's a little bit all over the place. I don't even have my OC here. My OC guy, I think he might be in the chat, but definitely said he was not filling up for a show today. I think he drank some Mexican water. That's what I think. Looking here at the 24-hour period, guys. Last 24 hours, 110,903 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $404.88 million. Largest single liquidation order was on HTX. It was a Bitcoin trade. Holy cannoli, guys. $42.68 million on a, you can co-host, but BC, well, unfortunately, I don't have a way to bring you in immediately. $42.68 million on a single trade there. I appreciate the offer, though, BC. If I had known that early in, I would have gotten you on here. So let's talk about X this morning. I did not even really go through X that much. I just got a couple of things in here that I want to talk about. So let's go get the most recent Bitcoin and Ethereum fear and greed indexes, and then we'll come back and talk about those two things there. There we go. Fear and greed. That's from yesterday. Let's get the most recent one. Fear and greed right now setting at 52 as of 41 minutes ago. It's still in neutral. What about the Ethereum fear and greed? How's it looking? We are looking at a 55. It's sitting in greed. Ethereum getting greedy right now at $4,584, triggering a 55 fear and greed index score. There are a couple of other things in here that I want to talk about. Rate cuts have begun at record highs. This is relevant to what we're going to talk about today. And then, of course, this here, guys, write this list down. This is Dan. Dan over there. But I want to talk about what he put out here because pretty interesting mix here of cryptos. And it's why I think it's interesting, I'll tell you why in a second, is the actual tokens that are in this 12, right? The SEC just approved generic listing standards for commodity-based trust shares on NASDAQ, CBOE, and the New York Stock Exchange. This means crypto ETPs that meet the threshold can go to market in weeks, not months. Here are the 12 that qualify right now. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, XLM, AVAX, Shiba Inu, Polkadot, Solana, and ADA. These qualify because they already have futures trading on CFTC, the Commission's fair trade, commodities fair trade commission. That's it. Designated market for 6+ months. Cardano specifically launched in March 2025, so currently right at the threshold. We'd have to check the exact date. All of these tokens here, guys, are pretty much, except for BCH. I don't think BCH is in our list, but all these other tokens, 11 out of the 12 tokens here are on the Piper DCA, the Piper Plan DCA strategy. So just saying, kind of already knew that these were going to be big ones long ago. So rate cuts have begun at record highs, guys. Historically, we have seen that the markets 12 months later are up 14 to 22%. What does that mean for crypto? We're going to break all that down today. Let's take a look at the crypto bubbles, though, right now. And let's talk about what's going on here. Bitcoin currently right now sitting at $117,622, up 1.3% on the daily, up 0.2% on the hourly. What are the other big movers here? We've got Ethereum's up 2.6. It's meh, but hey, it's still in the profit on the long. Looking here at XRP, it's up 3.3%. BNB up 4.6. Solana's up 5.1. Good job, Solana. Dogecoin's up 6.2. Cardano moving up one spot to number 9 out of that number 10 position, up 5.4%. Chainlink's up 5.9. Very far off from that $800 Chainlink there. Retro Mike Tech, but that's still almost $25. Hyperliquid's up 5.5%. Avalanche up 11.6% today, guys, moving 2 spots up to number 13 there. What else? Sui is up 8.6. Bitcoin Cash is up 7.7. Stellar Lumen's up 3.3. HBAR 5.3%. Litecoin up a mere 1.8. And Leo token flat. That is rounding out your top 20 tokens there on the crypto bubbles. Let's go talk about the stock market. And we do have a breakdown of some stocks today that you guys might want to the Piper Profit DCA plan. I like that. Or why not Profit Piper? And we can make a play on the word profit. I'm just saying. JR, appreciate you, man. BCH is one of my faves. Retro Mike Tech said. I'm just looking through the chat here, man. You guys are rocking through the chat today. I don't think it's high enough. $0 inbound. All nice coins. Yep, I agree. All set. I agree. What else we got in here? Anybody else? Mark Dutch. Dutchy's in the house. I see you, bro. I appreciate you being here. DJenny from the blockchains in here with us too. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Alexander G said holy balls. I don't know what it was about, but when she says holy balls, you need to pay attention. So, all right, let's continue on here. Looking at the Dow Jones right now, guys, currently up 0.4%. S&P is up 0.7%. The NASDAQ up 1.05%. And the Russell 2K, small caps, we talked about this yesterday, and I think this was in TA Plus in Chart Prime about the Russell 2K's performance and how it does in comparison to the Piper poverty plan. Dutchy, put yourself in timeout. Russell 2K small caps and how they perform when it's near an all-time high versus the S&P. So much higher, by the way, 35% average 12 months later. Higher the Russell 2K is. And what does that mean for altcoins? Of course, we have to take that into account. And we still have to take into account 4-year cycle. If you guys don't know, Bitcoin historically, it's followed its 4-year plan. Will it do it this time? It remains to be seen. I think it will, but who knows? But S&P has gone up during those periods when Bitcoin has done its pullback on the 4-year cycle based on, mining, hash rate, all that stuff that Retro Mike Tech is super smart on. So just because we're talking about 12% higher, 22% higher, all this on the stock markets does not mean that the 4-year cycle can't continue. So looking at the Russell 2K, though, up 1.26, and the VIX. VIX is being nice and mellow here, nice and calm, so that's good. Volatility low. Let's take a look at the bonds market, though, guys. What I tell you, just because they cut rates does not mean that the 10-year treasury yield is coming down. Shout out to Lunar Beach's Crypto. I don't know if he's in here or not right now. He's probably still over watching Alex O play skate. But anyway, video games and crypto, it's just becoming a thing. It's been started. Message deleted by Piper Academy. Let me see this message. What did you delete? What is this? Oh, he said, okay, I see. All right, I'm watching you guys. Watching you. The 10-year LBC was talking earlier that his boss said, I'm glad to see that they cut rates because my real estate plan, blah, 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 and I have my business and I need, and he said, the 10-year yield's going up. That is what your mortgage rates are based on, guys. So we're seeing that they got a FOMC rate cut, but the 10-year yield, mortgages, car loans, all that, green. Oh, I can't even get over there. Green. Okay. Setting at 4.124 today. How about gold? Gold's getting a little bit of a pullback. It's at about 1.24% right now. It's $3,671.80 right now on gold. Guys, just under that 30. Until we start losing 36, 35, I wouldn't be too concerned about gold. The DXY is the big reason why gold is pumping like this, because the DXY is up today. I'll show you that chart in a little bit too. Silver sitting just under $42. Copper's down just slightly. Platinum and palladium both moving to the upside this morning. And I think that's about it on this chart. Let's go over here. Take a look at the economic calendar. We did get some data this morning. The initial jobless claims came in. They revised last week's. This is the weekly report on unemployment, if you guys don't remember. It was 263,000. They made it 264,000. And then the consensus was that it would be 240 to 250. Came in at 231, lower than expected. That meaning less people filed for unemployment than they expected to. So Fed manufacturing, by the way, also, this was -3. Remember New York manufacturing, Philly manufacturing, all those things that we talked about? Look, was -3, -0.3. They thought it would be like 2.3 to 8. Holy balls, put it in the chat. Came in at 23.2. This is showing manufacturing growth, and it's really weird that we have the beige book giving us a national manufacturing overlay that says it's going down. New York confirms this. And then here comes Philadelphia Fed manufacturing saying, oh no, we just got orders and we're picking up. So let's go look at the breakdown here. The Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index climbed positive 23.2 points in September, its highest reading since January, from 0.3 in August. The latest figures are well above the expected 2.3 and pointed to a resurgence in manufacturing activity in the Philadelphia region. New orders index rose 14 points, and the shipments index rose 22 points. The employment index remained mostly unchanged at 5.6. So, orders coming back in strong right now on the Philly Manufacturing Index. So what else do we have going on? Nothing for the rest of the week, guys. Next week, we're going to be getting pretty light week, actually. 30-year mortgage rate. We're going to get that. That's probably going to be a little bit higher after a dip. I guess Thursday, September 25th, we're going to get durable goods orders in the GDP final growth rate, which was negative 0.5. They think it's going to be 3.3 across the board. So we'll have to watch that next week and check it out. Make sure you're tuned in right here at the Morning Market Report on Piper. All right, guys, taking a look here at the CME Group and what their expectations are for rate cuts. I want to show you guys something. See this here for October, 85.5%. That's a 25 basis point rate cut. 25. See this 14.5? That's a no change. That's a pause. So we're back into the world of, okay, are we going to pause now because jobs aren't looking so bad? I mean, it doesn't erase the fact there was 911,000 jobs erased from the markets. But overall, yeah, right now I think we're still going to see a 25 basis point in October. But as of right now, we do have a 14.5% chance that the markets are putting in that we will not get a rate cut in October. So how about the liquidations max pain? Where's that at? For longs and shorts, let's see. Bitcoin is reading a max pain on short traders, meaning if the price goes up, it will hit the most amount of liquidation. That is going to be $118,906. Just out of curiosity, 118.6. Let me see something here. Yeah, that's going to be right near our 236 that we were talking about also there. So I just wanted to check that out on that chart. Looking here at the long max pain, 112,889. 112,889. Man, that is way down there, bro. That would be a ways. It's 3.79% drop from now versus a 1.34. I think the market makers are going to go hunt for this liquidity of $168 million before they would even think about this. So that's what we're sitting at on max pain right now. Biggest plays, we'll talk about that if we have time. Unpacking the confusing Fed. Let's put this full screen here and let's go to there. Perfect. And let's unpack the this Fed decision, what it means for investments, and then we'll go through what I also had Chat GPT run for me. Wall Street still has more to unpack from Wednesday's Federal Reserve meeting, one that showed a deeply divided U.S. central bank that could add to market uncertainty. Stocks were mixed following the Fed Chair Powell's post-meeting presser. Then the Dow Jones jumped 260 points while the S&P and the NASDAQ fell. The bond market was looking shaky and then started pumping again, with the 10-year Treasury yield dipping below 4% before rising once more. There you go. And the U.S. dollar dropped following that rate decision. The dot plot itself, there is even more confusion. The Fed expects just one interest rate cut in 2026. Next year, one. But that forecast covers over a wide range of opinions within the central bank. Two voting members, for example, expect as many as 4 rate cuts next year, while 3 are projecting 3 reductions. So that's what the data was all coming out, and that's why there's so much confusion going on right now. This is why we're seeing volatility on the markets. But let's go talk here about small caps and just relate this over to altcoins, if you will, depending on if Bitcoin holds its outside of its 4-year window, right? But let's take a look here. Post-pause rate cuts have been a very good setup for a long time here for small caps. History shows. Let's go take a look. If history is any guide, small stocks could get outsized boost from the Federal Reserve rate cut Wednesday and any that may follow the rest of the year. The U.S. Central Bank is almost universally expected to lower its Fed rates, which it did. Where does it talk about? There you go. 96%. I'm looking for the part where it talks about this. There we go. One somewhat unique characteristic of the easing cycle has been the elongated nature. With the long pause, we had a rate cut and then a long pause since the last rate cut in December 2024. Returns following rate cuts that have come after a pause of at least 126 days are encouraging. This has happened 4 times previously since 1980, with the exception of June 1989. Returns have been decisively better than for all rate cuts on average. Furthermore, small cap returns in these instances have seen much better return than the large cap stocks. The average return for the Russell 2K 12 months following the post-pause rate cut is 35% versus the S&P's 23%. What does that mean? Basically, it's saying that when we have rate cuts that take place after a pause, we tend to see small caps, your Russell 2K, do better 12 months from now. But it still says that the S&P is 23% higher. That means that for the next 12 months, we could see some run up across the board on the stock market. However, caveat, pause for effect here. We do also see that within the 30 days of after the rate cuts that we have the potential for a pullback. Average 3% upside. So let's talk about that. Let me go over here. Let's get in on this and let's talk about this. There we go. I want to bring this up here and we'll talk about this because I've got, there it is, FOMC synopsis from September 17th. Cut the Fed funds target 25 basis point. That was the move that they made, citing labor market softening and risk management considerations. Further easing this year remains on the table. The vote, who voted for it? Powell, Williams, Barr, Bowman, Collins, Cook, Goolsbee, Jefferson, Muslim, Schmid, and Waller. Against it was Stephen Moran. He wanted a 50 basis point rate cut. Okay. How the markets reacted, equities after a choppy close on decision day, the futures ripped to record highs this morning with small caps firm as well, which we just talked about what would happen with small caps. The tape color broadly risk on tone and pre-market the day after with tech leadership and notable single name pops. NVIDIA did a rip up to this morning. We started to see tech sector being bought back into, which was great after that little pullback that NVIDIA had. Some people made some good money there. So what does history say about rate cuts near all-time highs? The 12-month view, when the Fed has cut with the S&P 500 within approximately 2% from its record high, the index finished higher 12 months later in every case, 20 out of 20 times, according to a Carson Group study. This is a conditional subset, i.e. near highs, not every cycle. A broader look across the cycle shows a positive average 12-month return after the first cut, with outcomes far better when recession is avoided. So, toe the line. If we can avoid that recession, we're looking great here. The first 30 days after the start of an easing cycle, not restricted to near all-time high. This is in general. The S&P has averaged about 3% in the first month of the rate cut. Short-term results vary by backdrop, but the mean is positive. So let's look down here and see what does this have? How does this play into Bitcoin? Got it. So looking at the FOMC rate cut context, Fed, okay, again, 25 basis points. Where are we in the Bitcoin cycle? We are in the Bitcoin cycle of 2024 halving, cycle 5, historical breakout, peak window, 301 days, puts the likely cycle peak in quarter 3, quarter 4, 2025. We're in that window now. I'm actually thinking November 3rd. Right now, September 20, 2025, Bitcoin is sitting in the acceleration phase that typically precedes a blow-off top. According to the data, liquidity tailwinds from easing equal crypto positive growth. So what for Bitcoin? Rate cut equals a liquidity boost right in the sweet spot of a 4-year cycle. Shout out to Alex O. I just see him popped in here. Alex O Crypto, what's up, my buddy? That's my bro right there. Love that dude. So let's take a look at what this means overall for this liquidity boost hitting right where we need the momentum to get our blow off tops, right? Macro plus cycle alignment. Liquidity easing mirrors 2019 to 2020 when Bitcoin entered a strong advance after the Fed pivoted. And then ETF inflows plus risk on equities provide structural demand. The targets in play per my fib levels, guys, 167,000 base case for cycle top, 500K, which I don't think is likely. That's the extreme bull case if liquidity and politics fully align, which would be the 2.36. We'll take a look at these fib levels and where they come from here in a bit. But after the first 30 days of a cut, equities historically about 3% higher. Bitcoin typically outpaces those equities, so expect upward bias with volatility, but overall constructive into October, November. The bottom line, short-term, Bitcoin likely trades higher with some chop, but overall follows equities positive bias. Midterm, 12 months, cycle plus liquidity, cycle normalcy, and then liquidity equals bullish alignment, reinforcing the quarter 3, quarter 4, 2025 is the high probability peak window, $167,000. That is what is in focus. Upside optionality much higher. So in Piper speak, The Fed just topped off the fuel tank right as Bitcoin is hitting its sprint zone. Guys, this is what I'm watching closely. And I think that it's important to note that everything aligning like this is giving us a strong foundation to leap off of. It's kind of like trying to push up, jump up, lift off with your legs. You squat down, you get that good jump, right? And you jump up. It's kind of like doing that off of a solid format, solid ground, as opposed to like trying to jump up as high as you can off of like, sponge. You guys ever gone to the trampoline park and they got all the sponges there? Try jumping out of that. It's not that easy because your energy gets absorbed, right? We pretty much, I think, have given a very solid ground for potential Bitcoin rocket. Now, keep in mind the 4-year cycle does still have a play here. And we'll look at that here in just a second and break down some other altcoins. But I do want to show you guys the DXY and I want to show you guys gold. Shout out to the Otter gang that's joining us in the chat. The OGs in the house. They were over there watching Alex O playing skate. How was that game, Alex O? I loved the skate games, dude. And geez, you're gonna make me go download it now. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys all being here. If you haven't done so yet, please smash that like button. Helps us out immensely here. And I'm trying to grow here. Crypto Billy, what's up, my bro? I appreciate you, friend. All right, let's go take a look at the chart. Let's talk about this. Let's go and look here. I want to pull this up. Yeah, this one. Let's talk about this here because this is where I'm looking at for the max profit window here. It started back in January 2025. That was the beginning, which we did take some profit there. And then we started buying back in April. Look at that. Bam. Overall, I got to show you guys this. Overall, I've sold 3 times, or I've sold twice in this cycle. The first time I sold was in March 2024. I sold here. I bought back in August. There. I sold in January. I bought back in April. You guys see the trend? I'm just saying. And so yeah, it's working well for me. Yes, I've triggered some taxable events, but my tax is not 100%. So I'm still keeping profit and getting more Bitcoin every time we go down. And then here we were talking about if we hold this band, likely much higher. And what did we do? We held it. We were actually up here when I said if we hold this. So hitting good there, hitting good in the neighborhood. So let's talk about this date. It's November 3rd here, guys. I'm actually watching this window for our top. And where did those levels come from? That 1.618 and all that? That is going to be based on, I think it's going to be this chart. And it's going to be up here, I think. Let's hit this. Yeah, there we go. Fib cycles. Let's go talk about that. There we go. So this is where that data is coming from on that 1.618. Guys, it's based off of lows to highs on cycle runs, okay? And I'll go ahead and turn off some of the data here so that you guys can see all of this. There we go. Turn that off and that off. There we go. It's based on these cycle lows to cycle highs, okay? So you can see that the one-to-one line here matches up to the top, and then the 0 matches up to our bottoms. And so these are retracements of this being your range, and there's your extension, right? We historically hit the 1.618. And so back here, 2020, we hit it. Back here in 2017, we hit it, had a little pullback, and actually went all the way up to the 2.36. Of course, we didn't hit that in 2020, which is why I think that it is a very likely possibility that we don't hit it this cycle. But let me get rid of the Mexican spaghetti as I go. OC is not here, but a spaghetti always is. And then right here, back in the 2013 cycle, we hit that 1.618 before a pullback and then a rally. Now, what I want to talk about here is, as I drink some coffee, delicious coffee, guys. Delicious. All right, let's talk about this and see what we're seeing here. 1.618 puts us at about $168,000, $167,000. We've always hit this level. So why should we expect that we won't hit it this time if we have the bullish catalyst going on with what's going on with the rate cuts near all-time high in the S&P performance 22%. Bitcoin typically outperforms the S&P. You do the math, yada, yada, yada. I think that this is setting us up for at least that $168,000 range. Now, what happens if we hit up here? Okay, let's say we get up there. Can I get a marker, please? There we go. Thank you. We get up here on this 1618 and we do what we typically have seen, a pullback. Okay. And we do our pullback like we've always done. Pullback like we've always done, a pullback. And then we find out that the 4-year cycle is not infinite or definitive. The reason I say that is 3 times does not make a pattern. Just so you guys are tracking, does not make a pattern. 3 times is nothing more than a micro trend. Okay. It takes 17 to 20 times to have a pattern, just so you guys know. Ask any statistician, they'll tell you. You need multiple occurrences. So if we do get what is called an extended cycle, the theory of it, we could still follow the 4-year cycle where we see, excuse me, sorry about that, guys, where we see the price pump up and hit 168. And then we go in for this elongated cycle cool off in 2026. Okay. Just keep in mind a pullback here of 70% would put us, where would it be at? I think it's down here at the 786. Yep. Right around the 786. If we do a 50%, a 60% pullback, we're looking at the 1-to-1. If we do anything close to like a 50% pullback, you're looking at $90,000 Bitcoin. And that is a very possible thing to happen that still gives us an extended cycle. So we would just grab this and pull this out, where we come down on price after hitting 168. And later in 2026, we get our wash out of the markets. We come into like that 90,000, maybe even down to the $70,000 mark, but then create that higher cycle that extends outward. Now, mind you, it would still look a whole lot like a 4-year cycle, but it's actually a continuation of what we are on right now as a cycle. And so you're still talking about your 2027, 2028 being in play, but what if this is that extended cycle after hitting that 1618 and the extended cycle is still in play, even though the 4-year event has occurred and we've had our crypto winter and everything else? I'm still thinking that we can keep 504,000 on the chart as a potential target, but on an elongated run to get there. So let's go jump back over to the chat cam. I want to see what everybody's saying in the chat. Buck's mind's always in the gutter. Facts. Crypto Billy, coffee tastes so good. Piper wanted to taste it twice. I did. I love my coffee, man. Who else we got in here? Retro Mike Tex in here with us. Steve Hickey, I appreciate you being here. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think in the chat what about these this breakdown of the cycle. I mean, if history has any repeating fractals at all here, then we have to say that we typically do see going higher in the 12 months following the rate cuts at this condition, the scenario of all-time highs on the markets, and Bitcoin typically does outperform the S&P. So I don't know. Let's go jump in here. I'd love to hear what you guys thought. And if you guys watching this later, if you're watching this later on, drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. This is from my Nespresso, Steve Hickey. So what kind of coffee? It's from my Nespresso, and it is the Weeknd. You guys know The Weeknd, the band? It's his from his country, so he sponsored it. Big marketing ad, but it's really good actually. So a little double shot of espresso from him. I am talking about different time frames, JR. I'm talking about different assets actually matching up across different time frames. That would technically be a fractal. Because we would be putting a 4-year cycle on top of an 8-year run, still playing out across both for its levels. See, trying to get me there. I got you, bro. I got you. All right, let's go take a look at the DXY and let's go take a look at some altcoins right now. Taking a look at the DXY way up here. DXY had a nice pullback yesterday when we got the data come in off the FOMC, and it started to dump. Bam, right there, right before the FOMC. As soon as it happened, we started to get a move to the upside on the DXY. So we haven't officially yet done a break of structure or a change of character. We're still on a lower low and a lower high, but the DXY is moving up, and I think that's why we're seeing so much volatility this morning. If this does get a rejection here at about 97.68, I expect that we're going to go lower, and then of course the asset's going to pump even harder at that point. What about gold? Let's look at gold here. Gold is getting a pullback, and the level I'm watching on gold is going to be right here at about 36.45. I think this is going to be a key level for us to hold on to here. Looking at silver, kind of flagging out, but it looks like down here off of the volume and the oscillator, we are setting up again. We're starting to get a transition. We might get one more bounce down here, liquidity sweep before that comes up, but really the line in the sand is going to be somewhere in this box here. Rectangle. There we go. Somewhere in that box there, and you can see that's where we're holding all of our support at there. Let's go take a look at Ethereum and some of these other tokens. Looking at these on the 4-hour Ethereum, I do have a fib that's pulled on here right now. This has been brutally honest with its levels. Let me highlight just the top chart. There we go. Brutally honest with its levels. And these are pulled from back here. It's a trend-based fib, if you guys don't know what that is. It's pulled from the low back in 2020 to the high of 2021 to the low of 2022. And that gives us a trend-based fib extension. And look at the golden pocket over and over and over and over again as a rejection point. And now, look at this. Look at the beauty of this. Came down, slight front run off of years old. Oh, no chart. Good Lord. I failed you guys. I failed you all. That's okay. We're back with the chart. Somebody just should have called. Oh, Dan Heaney. TradeFly messaged me. Chart, bro. All right. So let's go back and look at the DXY really quick. I'll just do a quick run through on that. This is why I need OC here. Guys blame OC. Hyper no screen plan. There you go. Looking here at the DXY on the 4-hour. There we go. We did get this bounce down here at the FOMC yesterday, gave us a quick pump up, and we're still moving to the upside, but we have not broken structure. There's your gold. There's your DXY. The gold, right now, I'm watching this $3,645 level. It's going to be right here in line with the 1.887, the extended platinum pocket. If you guys are wondering where this comes from, it is based off of trend-based fibs. There was our first levels. Our second levels is what we're in now. So watching that closely, and I do think that we're going to hit up into that $4,000 range, which would be the next phase of platinum and golden pocket. Now let's go back down and look at Ethereum and talk about that, because this is pulled, and I put this back on the daily. TradeFly, looking me up here. Looking here at this, guys, this is pulled from all-time high or low of 2020 to the all-time high that we had in 2021 to the low of 2022, and it gives us this trend-based fib extension. Sorry about that, guys. I just need to leave. I just need to go home. Oh, TI also said, yeah, you read chat. See, thanks, Trade Intuition. Appreciate you. We're sitting here watching this golden pocket rejection levels right over and over and over that we had here off of that trend-based fib extension. If you take a look at what happened here, we almost got a front run here on the 6.66 before it ran up, and now we're fighting with the platinum pocket right now. Current price right now is at a critical point, in my opinion, on Ethereum. It is this 786 at $4,635. And you can see here, even here on the daily, the candle is creating a doji candle right there on that level, right there. So if we are able to get above this and move up, then I'm definitely looking at that $5,100 level, because if we prove this as support, which we have not done yet, look, came down, broke, went up, came back down, broke, went up, came back down, broke. This is a continuation pattern of losing that 786, coming back, trying to break it, and it becomes resistance, resistance, and now resistance. So once we get above this and we show this as support, guys, looking at 5,100 easily being the next target on Ethereum. And then, of course, Bitcoin, as I said, is breaking its golden pocket here and holding strong right now, in my opinion. I think Bitcoin's got the roadmap ahead of it to run. But guys, at the end of the day, it's really just a matter of watching your levels, confirming across your oscillators. I'm going back over here. There we go. Confirming across your oscillators. And then once you have that confirmation, making your purchases. How do you purchase? What do you buy? Me personally, I follow my own plan. I got the Piper plan. And so when I go in there and I see that it's at a 2x or a 3x or a 1x, one-time multiplier, two-time multiplier, three-time multiplier of my DCA amount that I have set based on my expenses and affordability, then I'm just going to continue to accumulate. And if we continue to see the altcoins doing what they're doing, then I'll add to more than just my Ethereum bag. I'll start adding some XRP. I'll start adding some Solana. Again, we have a lot of tokens in our Discord that we do this on. Let me go in and see here. Yeah, everybody throwing shade on Marine Corps birthday pump. Oh, it's it's not the Marine Corps' birthday today. Buck, what are you talking about? It's the Air Force birthday today. Is it also the Marine Corps' birthday today? I don't know. I don't care about those other branches. Just the Army, man. Just the All right, look at here. I want to give you guys a quick breakdown. We get Bitcoin, of course, on the Piper plan. All of the altcoins that we run here on this, just so you guys have it. If you're members, you have access to all of this. It is Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Doge, ADA, Link, SWI, XLM, HBAR, Litecoin, Toncoin, Shiba Inu, Polkadot, Aave, and Atom. And I'm not even sure. I want to go check and see if we have access in this to BCH. I think we do. Because I know Retro Mike Tech likes that BCH. So do we have it in here? Bitcoin Cash is not even in this list. Nope, can't do it. Sorry, man. Litecoin's in there. We do that one. But cannot do Bitcoin Cash for you, Retro Mike. I was going to try to get that one going for you. I know I wasn't showing a screen. I was just looking for myself. It's the Discord. Here, I'll show you the screen. There you go. There's the screen. I went through the list here to see if they offered Bitcoin Cash in here, and they do not. So there you go. But yeah, that's what we got today, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick breakdown, a synopsis on what we typically see the markets do after a rate cut in line with all-time highs. And at the end of the day, what we do is we get higher highs. And so I think that we are going to see that. Right now, the markets are still up 1.11% right now on the NASDAQ. S&P is at 0.69 and the Dow Jones is at 0.44% today on the daily. So we are seeing that the markets are holding strong, and hopefully, fingers crossed, my DCA purchase yesterday will continue to hold for me too. But I appreciate you guys all being here. I apologize, no OC. He would have stopped me from talking without a screen. He would have went, Piper, I don't think you have your screen up. And I'd be like, you are right, bro. Thank you. But I appreciate everybody in the chat and everybody in text messages and the Discord and everything else that tried to help me. So you guys rock. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning, Friday. It's Friday tomorrow. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning giving you guys a wrap up for the week. Hopefully OC's feeling better. We'll be back for that. But if you guys haven't done so yet, smash that like button. Share it with a friend. Tell them to ignore the part where Piper talked without a chart. I'm sorry about that again, guys. And share it with a friend, because sharing is caring. If you guys are interested in getting access to the Piper plan, our DCA plan, and some trade setups, great community, one-on-one sessions, some stock stuff from BC Port Corp, go ahead and check out the membership. Just click join. That $5 membership a month gives you full access. There's no other cost. Cheapest Discord around, in my opinion. Not offering all the great, amazing macro setups of trades, or micro trade scalp setups that you get over at Alexo Cryptos. However, We do have some trades, but majority of it, it's investing. The safe path to growing money. So slow and easy, slow and easy. At my age, I like slow and easy. Just saying. All right, guys, we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning right here, 10 a.m. Don't forget, tune in today to OC Guy, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys trade setups with OC Guy. And then tomorrow morning, Port Corp will be back here with Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. breaking down the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe. Use some risk management. Peace, love, and profits. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. I'm out. Later.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
Don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out. 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 Out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?